Transitioning towards a plant-based diet can be a big step for some depending on what you're currently eating and your habits. It can feel overwhelming and confusing when you first start, but it doesn't have to be. Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to cover my top 10 tips to start your journey to include more plants into your diet. If you're new here, my name is Steph and I'm a nutrition coach based in the UK, specializing in helping people lose weight through a plant-based diet. On this channel, we will explore the strategies and tools to help you live healthier, happier lives through exploring your nutrition, mindset, and habits. Let's get started. Point number 1, your why. When you encounter a few hurdles along the way, it's important to remember what values and reasonings you had in the first place that made you want to change your diet. Was it for your health, the environment, the animals? When you're finding some steps hard or having to make choices, try and think back to why you wanted to do this in the first place. Does it align with your values or reflect to your identity? I decided to transition to a vegan diet back in 2011 because I wanted to better my overall health. I followed on by doing my own research about the food industry, its impact on animals, the planet, and our health. I realized that I didn't want to support that aspect through my own consumption. Being vegan is an ethical choice, and being plant-based simply describes what your diet is based on. It does not identify with your ethical beliefs of being vegan or not. So you've decided to be plant-based. You walk into a store ready to make this big change, and as you walk around, you slowly start feeling like you have no clue what you're doing or what ingredients are in your basket anymore, and then in turn, you wonder how you're going to create all the lovely dishes that you then saw on the internet earlier, and that's why you bought the ingredients. When you get home, you get that giant pile of things to cook on the counter, and you feel like it's a giant mountain to overcome, and you don't know where to start. In the process of changing diets, you are going to be bombarded with new information, trying to implement new approaches in your lifestyle, the ingredient situation, and choices and so forth, and it can be all really overwhelming. Change takes time, and everybody's journey is different. There's no right or wrong method, and this experience has to suit your own pace and your personal approach. However, in the day of the instantaneous, you need to be realistic about how long things might actually take you. Nothing happens overnight, and expecting to do so will usually end up causing you setbacks and maybe going back to your old ways. Because you don't allow yourself the time it actually takes to change your habits, and you have to learn as you figure things out. Next on, point number 3, plan it out. One key thing to beat the overwhelm and change is to plan things out. Some may love the idea of venturing out with no map, however, one of the best ways to keep track with your goals is to plan the steps towards it. This can be applied to any changes, including your diet. A quick hack is to use the SMART method. First of all, be specific. What is the one outcome you want at the end of the process? Second, make it measurable. How are you measuring progress? What metrics are you assigning to your goals? Make it achievable. What is the most achievable version of that goal? Be realistic. Are the steps you need to take realistic with your situation, time, commitment, and other means? And then how long? Give it a timeline. How long does it take for you to achieve that goal realistically? Try it and break down the big goals into as small of a chunk as possible. Point number 4, support system. When I first transitioned, I was pretty much on my own doing it. I found at the time some information on the internet, but it wasn't as widespread as it is today. Throughout the years, I came across various situations where having supports from others and their understanding helped me not to feel so alienated. With my family, and especially my parents, there came a time that I had to do a bit of creative solving to be able to find how we could all have a meal together. The one big takeaway I got from all of it was that it was really important to have open conversation with the people around you. Not only about what you want and prefer, but also listening to them and understanding where everyone is coming from. Outside of close family and friends, there are so many groups, events, and online help available that it's easy to connect to others who are going through similar things as you. If you want me to dive a bit further into the subject about how to handle those situations being plant-based, let me know in the comments below and I'll do another video covering that topic. Now, our next point number 5. Keep to simple foods. When you think about changing anything about your diet, you might fall into thinking it requires to source the oddest and most random foods. In this case, the most simple foods are whole foods and plant-based. These are straightforward, non-highly processed ingredients that don't usually have a plant-based or vegan label on them. Fresh or frozen fruit or veg, rice, most dried pastas, grains, pulses. There's a lot of breads that are also fine, but please do make sure to read the label as all the ingredients vary. There's no need to go to niche health food store to find the most random foods out there. Your local supermarket will have most of the basics you need to get started. The more simple, the better. So point number 6 is being smart with your swaps. As well as keeping it simple, you can also be smart with swaps too. The goal is trying to introduce more plants and whole foods in your diet. Some swaps can be made very easily, for example, choose wholemeal bread instead of white, or brown rice instead of white. These might seem really obvious, but that will make already a big change long term. If you like these pointers so far and want to learn more, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the notification to be first in line for the next video uploads. I'm eternally grateful for your help on this channel so I can keep bringing you value and insightful content to help you live healthier lives. Now let's get back to the topic. Point number 7, start with what you know. Starting with what you know is a sure way to beat the fluster of starting something new. Think about your favorite recipe and break it down on how could you add more vegetable to it or turn it plant-based. Most common dishes are things such as chili or pasta sauce, where you can swap some mince with lentils, you can make lasagna with more vegetable, or even curries, where are easy swaps to add any ingredient you want to that sauce. Try to reinvent everything just creates too much overwhelm. You don't need to find 10 new recipes to do in your first week. Start small with one meal that you know and like. This way it isn't too much of a leap. Then slowly start to introduce new ingredients and new recipes one by one. As with any changes in your diet, there will be some moment of experimentation at the beginning. Maybe you've never tried a certain vegetable before, a type of plant-based milk. What the hell is jackfruit, right? It can be scary and you will no doubt like and dislike many new things. But the key is to keep an open mind. Maybe it's the way it's cooked that you didn't enjoy. Could it be the flavor needs to be jazzed up with spices and sauces? Don't forget that most of your taste bud will also change over time, adapting to new flavors that you come across and new tastes. I never had tofu before I became plant-based, and it took a while for me to find the way I liked it best. I cooked some recipes with it that some failed completely and others were great success. Even at restaurants, when you see options, I like to try new things because it's all a journey of discovery. My next point is supplements. So you might wonder, in order to be plant-based, do you need supplements to make sure you're getting everything you need? Just like with any type of diet, before you even go towards a supplement aisle, the one key thing to have is a varied diet. Meaning that you're eating a lot of different things throughout the week. All colors, all sources of food. This ensures that you're already building a solid foundation. However, some things are harder to hit through diet alone. These are my 2 main recommendations. So vitamin D3, tablets preferably every day if you're not able to get enough exposure to the sun, which in the UK, for example, is a hard thing to do. If you are following a 100% vegan or plant-based diet, then the second supplement would be B12. The last point I want to touch on is what is called the all or nothing mentality. When taking on such big changes such as your diet, it's easy to fall into the trap where you want to be perfect from the start. And then if you're not, you even wonder, well, if it's worth doing. This teams up together with wondering if you should go all the way 100% or not. The reality is that there's a high chance that you will slip up or make a mistake or decide to opt for an option that wasn't quite what you planned. That happens. There is no perfect or right way to do it. It's all a learning process and you have to take your time to go through that journey and learn as you go. Change is not black and white, so when you define wanting to be plant-based, do have a think of what that means to you and what realistically works for you. Even if it's just adding a few more vegetables in your diet and working your way up, then that's already amazing because you're already doing some good. And if that means for you that you want to be plant-based 80%, 90%, or even 100% of the time, that's also amazing because you're already benefiting your health. Transitioning towards a plant-based diet doesn't mean it has to be overwhelming. So break down the steps into small achievable goals and start with what you know and enjoy. Just by adding a few more whole foods into your diet, it can already create significant changes to your overall health. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.